is Chad at Lighting for Impact, and today we're at Five Below installing the Lighting for Impact 24-foot cosmetic section. Your LED kit will come in a box like this. Go ahead and open it up. Once you open it, you'll see that there's going to be several bags of small components. The first components we're going to be dealing with are the two slimline power strips. These are going to run vertically in your section to distribute power. So we'll go ahead and set those out. The second piece you're going to need are the clips to mount that, which is the slimline plastic rivets and the slimline power strip straps. Set these components out to start with, and we'll install the power strips. The first thing you're going to want to do is identify where the shelving is in the section. Usually that'll be all the way on the right hand or the left hand side of the section, depending on the store. We're going to start here with the shelving, and we're going to take one of our power strips and we're going to go right next to the shelves and place the power strip as high as we can in the section. And I have one of the white push pins here, and we're going to push this in to attach the top of the power strip. And notice the power strip says top at the top. We're again at the highest point right next to the shelving. Then we're going to take a second push pin and we're going to work our way down and find the bottom of the power strip, and we're going to push that in here. For extra support, there are also these guides which you can attach by simply pushing in to the peg holes right next to the power strip. So we'll put two of those on as well to help support the power strip along the length. Now that that power strip is completely installed, we'll grab the second one. And again, we're gonna get two of the little white push pins. We're gonna put this power strip just immediately below the other power strip. We're gonna line up the holes and push the push pin in there. And then we'll take the second pin and we'll push that into the bottom. Now that the power strips are completely installed, the next items we're going to need are the power components. So we have the power supply, the AC cord to plug that in, some wire management clips, the red power input connector, and the red plugged extension to connect the power in connector to the power supply. So I'll start by opening up the power supply. On the back side, you'll see that there is a receptacle for the AC cord. We'll unwrap the AC cord here and go ahead and plug that in to the power supply. Move these out of the way. In this installation, we have located the power outlet, which is right under this base deck. So we'll go ahead and plug the power. Actually, I'm going to go through this hole here, and then I'm going to plug power into the outlet here, and then I'm going to place the power supply underneath this base deck for the time being, because this base deck is the one with our power strip. So this is where we want the power supply, and we'll use this hole just to access the outlet. I'm going to set these down, and then next we're going to take our red power input connector. With the power input connector, there's directions printed on it. Line up the start arrow vertically with the power strip and make sure the power connector is placed snugly against the power strip. Once that's done, simply rotate clockwise to snap in place. Once that's done, you take the red extension, take the right angle male plug, and we plug that in to the power input connector here. The next step, you will need to use a little bit of care to take the base deck and disconnect it. Drop this cord back behind here. And this is the important part, is to make sure that this cord is free behind the base deck and not tied up over here where it's connecting with the upright, where it might get pinched. So we got that placed. We'll drop the base deck back down, make sure this cord is looking good. The last step will be to lift this up, grab our cord that we dropped down here, and then we're going to plug that in to our power supply. Now that we've done that, we can use a couple of these magnetic wire management clips just to make sure that these wires are tied up nicely. Once that's done, we're going to drop the base deck back down, and you will see that the green LED indicator is lit up, indicating that we now have power to our power strip. Now that the two power strips are installed, we'll use this black jumper to jump between the two. So start by turning the jumper about 45 degrees to the counterclockwise, and then turn it clockwise to snap it in place. On the bottom, you'll repeat that same process, turning it counterclockwise and then snapping it back in place. So now the two power strips are connected in series. Now that we've fully energized our power strip, the next step is to start actually connecting the LED lights. The first set of lights you're going to want are the ones with the longer cords. There should be 8 of them bundled together. And then also the bag of 8 power output connectors, which will be white. We're going to go ahead and unwrap these, and then we'll show you the next step. Okay, we've unwrapped the LEDs. I have one of the LEDs with the long cord, and I have one of the white power output connectors. So the first thing I'm going to do is attach the power output connector. Just like I did the power input connector, we're going to line up the start arrow straight up and down with the power strip, make sure it's nested against the power strip, and then rotate it clockwise to snap it in place. Then we're going to take our LED strip, we're going to magnetize it to the bottom side of the shelf, and we're going to slide it forward all the way to the front edge of the shelf. Next, we're going to take the LED and we're going to plug it in. You can see it lights up right away. And then finally, a very important step is to make sure we do the wire management. So there should be 3 magnets on each of these cords, and we're going to magnetize those to the shelf to ensure that this cord is tied up cleanly and up out of the way so that it doesn't get hit by products or restocking. With the first light installed, we're going to grab another LED and another power output connector, and we're going to repeat that process for all 8 shelves going down. We've completed the illumination of all the metal shelves. The last step is to light the peg sections. To do this, we'll take the remaining 5 LEDs. These 5 LEDs all have shorter cords, and they actually have cords on both ends, male and female. Along with that, you'll have a bag with a black extension and one more white output connector. Along with that, you'll have some white magnetic wire management clips. The first step in this process will be to open up this bag to take the output connector and the black extension. We're going to unwrap this extension. This connector is slightly different than the other ones you've used. You'll notice that this says high capacity. The reason for the high capacity is this connector is actually going to connect 5 lights in series. So we're going to take this connector, attach it just like the other ones. We're going to put this at the very top and snap that in place. Next, we're going to take the black extension and we're going to plug that into the high capacity connector. Then we're going to take a couple of these white magnetic wire management clips, and we're going to use these to attach the cord up along the shelf and bring it towards the front of the shelf where we'll be connecting the LEDs. Once that's in place, we're going to grab the first LED and we're going to find the end with the male plug. We're going to attach the LED magnetically just like we've done before, and we're going to plug that in to this extension. And you can see right away the lights turn on, and then use another magnetic clip for wire management to keep this cord tied up nicely and up out of the way. Once the first series light is connected, we'll just take another one. Again, we'll have the male towards the previous light. We'll magnetically attach this underneath the shelf. Take the female end of the first one, plug it into the male end of the second. Again, we'll use a couple of these wire management clips, magnetic, to go up under here and get these nice and tight up against the top shelf to keep them out of the way of the customers and out of sight. Once that's complete, we're going to complete that process for the remaining 3 sections. Once you get to the final section, you'll have one female plug that won't be used. Take one more of the magnetic clips, put that around, and just tie that up there. Once that's done, your installation is fully complete.